والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه الذين كانوا يهدون بالحق وبه يعدلون وسلم تسليما كثيرا إلى يوم يبعثون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Dear respected brothers and sisters, always a pleasure to be here with you in Halifax. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep blessing each and every one of you here, and the love that you show, may Allah increase this love between ourselves. I remember many a time when we sit with our elders and they talk about how life used to be 30, 40, 50 years ago. And one consistent theme that they will talk about is the reality of poverty. How in comparison to today, life back 40, 50 years ago in Pakistan or in any country that many of us originate from, life was a lot more difficult. People had no money. Yet one thing that they did have was the love, the rahmah, the mercy between themselves. And now if you look, you see the complete opposite. People have an abundance of wealth, yet the love, the mercy, the compassion has been lifted and taken from our hearts. As the saying goes, we have many people from the Kashmiri Mirpuri area, so I will mix with Patwari as well. बुजुर्ग आखने होने सन पुराने ज़माने में कि प्यार मोहब्बत ज़्यादा होनी सी, पैसे कम होने सन लेकिन जेब खाली होने सन लेकिन दिल भरे भी होने सन. आजकल ना दौर ऐसा है कि जेब भरे हुए लेकिन दिल खाली हुई है. वजह क्या है? What is the reason? We hear many a times about within our communities people taking over each other's land. People even using hitmen and assassins to make sure that they take out this person so that you or that person can then have access to the land. We are hearing these cases, wallahi, they are growing and they are increasing. We also see much dishonesty, cheating, deception taking place in our communities, us Muslims, where a kitab has been sent from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where a Rasul has been sent to us, and yet you see so much deception, so much fraudulent behavior, so much usurping of land. What is taking place? In today's khutbah, I want to draw your attention to a surah where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about this deception that affects each and every one of us here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions waylun lil mutaffifin. Woe to those who cheat, they undercut, they deceive, they give less. That applies to each and every one of us here, and I will explain how. الَّذِينَ إِذَا اكْتَالُوا عَلَى النَّاسِ يَسْتَوْفُونَ. When it comes to those people, those who cheat, those who give less, when it comes to them asking from others, they will always ask for more. They will always say, this is one of the signs of these people. They will always say, yara ki aur bhai dena, aur dena yara, kat dena, aur bhai de. Give me more, increase it. وَإِذَا كَالُوهُمْ أَوْ وَزَنُوهُمْ يُخْسِرُونَ. But when it comes to them giving, not asking, when it comes to them giving, they will always give less. They will undercut. أَلَا يَظُنُّ أُولَٰئِكَ أَنَّهُمْ مَبْعُوثُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, do these people not think that they will be raised back up again? لِيَوْمٍ عَظِيمٍ. On this great day, a day that will be equivalent to 50,000 years. يَوْمَ يَقُومُ النَّاسُ لِرَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. On that day, every one of us sitting here, and those who came before us, and those who will come after us, will stand in front of Allah, and our hands will testify. Our mouths will testify. So now let us talk about the mutaffif, who do tadfeen, who do these things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us about. What does this mean, those who give less? Is this talking only about the bazaar, where you go, land there, naap tol? No. This talks about everything where you make a verbal contract, or you say something, or you are supposed to give the rights of someone and you give less. We're always asking about our rights, aren't we? Because this is what Allah is mentioning. That when we ask, we will always say, I want more, I want more. But when it comes to giving, we are always undercutting, cutting corners. Let me give you some examples. Many of you here are employees. You work for someone. Your aqd, your contract is a verbal contract that you are selling your services. And as an employee, الَّذِينَ إِذَا اكْتَالُوا عَلَى النَّاسِ يَسْتَوْفُونَ. You will always say to your boss, AC diyo ji. Aj give me a good chair as well for my back. Can I have more holidays? You're always asking for everything and everything and everything, and maybe your boss is giving you this. وَإِذَا كَالُوهُمْ أَوْ وَزَنُوهُمْ يُكْسِرُونَ. But when it comes to you giving now, delivering, you're supposed to be working 8 hours a day, you turn up for 7 hours. When your boss isn't looking, then you are going on the social media, or you're going on the internet, or you are chatting to your friends. You are cutting corners, you are deceiving, you are cheating. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. Or maybe let's turn the roles around. Maybe you're a great employee. Let's look at the employer. The employer is always asking his employee, الَّذِينَ إِذَا اكْتَالُوا عَلَى النَّاسِ يَسْتَوْفُونَ. He's always asking, can you come earlier? Can you do a bit more overtime? Can you do this? Really sponging his employee. وَإِذَا كَالُوهُمْ أَوْ وَزَنُوهُمْ يُكْسِرُونَ. But when it comes to the employer looking after his employees, he's cutting corners. Oh, it's okay. It's cold, but I don't want to put the radiators on. I'll let you just freeze to death. I can get your transport sorted, but no, you can just walk it to work. You're not fulfilling your part of the bargain. أَلَا يَظُنُّ أُولَٰئِكَ أَنَّهُمْ مَبْعُوثُونَ. Allah is saying, do you not think you'll be raised back up? You'll be asked about this? What about some of the youngsters here? You think maybe this is linked to the employer-employee relationship. No, even you. Daddy, can you give me this wallpaper in my room? You're always asking, الَّذِينَ إِذَا اكْتَالُوا عَلَى النَّاسِ يَسْتَوْفُونَ. Daddy, I want a PlayStation. Daddy, I want this. Daddy, I want this. Daddy, you're always asking for more. وَإِذَا كَالُوهُمْ أَوْ وَزَنُوهُمْ يُكْسِرُونَ. When it comes to you being a good boy or a good girl, you don't do your part of the bargain. You give your mother and father 2 good days in the whole year, and the rest of the weeks and the months in the year, you're a constant source of depression and anxiety for them. Getting involved with the wrong people, drink, drugs, knife crime, spending so long on the games, not being a person who has a vision in life. You are undercutting and you are not giving the fair due. And finally, the husband and wife relationship. Again, this is an aqd, a contract that you have. And you want everything from your wives. Yeah? Again, you want more. When I come home, my tea in my favorite cup with on my favorite saucer. I want it at 4 o'clock on the dot. I want 2 chapatis. I want everything. The poor woman does everything and anything that she's expected to do. When it comes to your turn, وَإِذَا كَالُوهُمْ أَوْ وَزَنُوهُمْ يُخْسِرُونَ. You don't pick the kids up when you're supposed to pick the kids up. You're supposed to take your wife and your children to the hospital, to the doctors. You phone up, can you catch the taxi? I can't make it today. You always are undercutting, underperforming. Yet from others, you want more. From others, you want them to bend over backwards. And wallahi, this is a big musibah that we have in our community. This is deceiving. This is fraudulent behavior. Our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, Man ghashana falaysa minna. Whoever cheats is not from us. Whoever deceives is not from us. Because this is falling into dhulm. Dhulm is oppression. Our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, Ittaqu dhulma. Beware of dhulm and oppression. فَإِنَّمَا ظُلْمَ ظُلَمَاتٌ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. For verily, dhulm will be a source of darkness on the day of judgment. You will feel like claustrophobic. You will feel anxiety on that day. You will not feel happy. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕ ਜ਼ੁਲਮ ਕਰਨੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਕਿਆਮਤ ਦੇ ਦਿਨ ਬੜੀ ਤੰਗੀ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਕਰ ਸਨ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਹੱਕ ਅਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰੀ ਰਹੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਬਾਰੀ ਅਚਨੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਇਹ ਕਰੋ ਇਹ ਦਿਓ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਬਾਰੀ ਅਚਨੀ ਹੈ ਦੇਣੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਖੁਦ ਉਹ ਨਾ ਜੀ ਕੱਲ ਕਰਸਾਂ ਪਰਸੂ ਕਰਸਾਂ Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning these things. There has to be adl, there has to be justice, there has to be balance. Let us look at some of the things that we have happening in our community, especially when it comes to this thing that we talk about, the thief, not giving, cheating, deceiving. Subhanallah, one of the common complaints we get in the Muslim community is when somebody does work for someone and weeks go by, months go by, and they are not still paid. Very rarely does it happen in the non-Muslim community. In the Muslim community, you can be a plumber, an electrician, a builder, somebody who has spent 8-10 hours a day for many months, and a contract has been agreed, I will give you X amount of money, and then the time comes, oh ji agle hafte achha hai, agle mahine achha hai, saal guzri jane, asa bande ki paise na ada kari rahe. And our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam is saying, a'tu al-ajira qabla an yajifa araqahu. Give the employer, give the worker his rights, his wage before his sweat dries from his forehead. Give his wage. लेकिन असां जी बड़े असां चला करना जी असां आने असां जी बंदा को यही कोनी असां आने पसीना इस बंदे की तो पसीना आई ही कोनी सी इस बंदे ते काम किते ही नहीं पाए 2-4 महीने उस बंदे लगातार हर दिन बिजली ना काम किता या प्लम्बिंग की या जिस तरह किस तरह भी होया. Our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam is saying, give the worker his due. And what do? And we think we're clever? How are we going to face Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment? Another point that we need to understand, and our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam is talking about this amazing characteristic about the easygoing person, and he mentioned 3 characteristics that we should try and aim for. He sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, rahimullahu rajulan samhan. May Allah take it easy with the easygoing man. May Allah have mercy on the easygoing person. إِذَا بَاعَ, when he sells something. وَإِذَا اشْتَرَى, when he buys something. وَإِذَا اقْتَضَى, and when he asks for his dues, he's very lenient with the person who owes him a debt. Our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam is making dua so that as a society we have certain social ethics that we take it easy with each other. We don't undercut, we don't cheat. And when it comes to even asking for our money back, we say, if you haven't got the money, inshallah, 6 months, I can wait. How often does this happen in our communities? If somebody genuinely cannot pay, we are the first ones to go on social media, WhatsApp, and you go and spread it everywhere. Our Nabi is saying, may Allah have mercy on the person who has a bit of compassion in his heart. I said, koi gal nahi. 6 mahine saal, inshallah, koi gal nahi. Sabr karsa. Our Nabi is saying, have these social ethics. Don't be the first ones to go for each other's jugular. And the final point I want to mention before I finish this part of the khutbah is, when it comes to working and doing things in the community, try not to be mediocre. Try not to be half-baked. Whatever field you're in, try and do things to the level of ihsan and excellence. Our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ إِذَا عَمَلَ أَحْدَكُمْ عَمَلًا أَن يُتْقِنَهُ. Allah loves it that when you do an action, or when a slave of Allah does something, he does it to the level of excellence. Wallahi, if we look into the non-Muslim community, if you look into the non-Muslim workplaces and we look into the Muslim workplaces that are run by Muslims, we see a massive difference. Because when we used to adopt these principles of doing things to the level of ihsan, Islam was a superpower. Politically, economically, intellectually, academically, militarily, spiritually, we were the best in all areas. When we left everything like this and we went for mediocre stuff, we are failed as a Muslim community. So if you are in fields of responsibility, look at the people you have around you. Are they the right people for the job? Whether it's you're running a youth club, whether you're running an Islamic school, whether you're running anything where you're saying that you're representing Allah and His Messenger, are you truly the best people? And wallahi, as a person who deals in the charity sector, I tell you one thing, that when I have to go on non-Muslim recruitment boards, when they are looking for a trustee, wallahi, they are looking for a trustee because the previous trustee has stepped down. They know that they cannot give their time. They know they have some issues. So they say, look, I have been a trustee, a chairman for 2 or 3 or 4 years. I cannot continue. And then the rest of the trustees say, thank you so much. Let us look for the next trustee. And how do they look for the next trustee? Do they go through the phone and say, bro, what are you doing? You're not working. Can you become a trustee? No. They put out a vacancy and they look at the best person for the job. And they get all the CVs together. And sometimes I sit on the panel and we scrutinize the person who's going to be a trustee, which means voluntary position, no money. And they get scrutinized more than a person who's going to get paid. Why? Because they want to get the best person for the job. They want to see what skills they can offer. And this is non-Muslim. And Allah is saying to the Muslims that He loves it when you do something, you do it to the best of your ability. I want you to take these things on board and adopt them in every aspect of your life, brothers and sisters. Whatever field that you're in, be the best that you can. Because when you be the best that you can, you will benefit. When you benefit, your society and your community will benefit. And this is what we need. We need our communities to benefit. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. Second part of the khutbah, completely different, but we have 10 minutes. We have a young generation here, the young generation who will be the next generation, those who the baton will be passed on to, those who will be taking up positions in the future of responsibility. Let us look at one particular thing that happens in this particular time of the year, July, August, and that is what? The wedding season. It's quite unfortunate to see that things are happening in the weddings nowadays. And because of these things, the barakah is being lifted from the lives of many Muslims. We see extortionate spending on weddings. We see things like DJs who are being invited. We see dance-offs taking place now between one party and the other, male and female. We see all of these things, man and woman walking in arm. All these public display of affection. And wallahi, none of this has any place in Islam. Islam is a religion of modesty. If you want to know a person who loved his wives more than anyone else, let us look at our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the perfect role model. A narration mentions when he is walking in a caravan, in a group, on the travels with our mother Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, with the Sahaba. And they are in a particular part of the journey. And the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he wanted to race his wife Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha. Did he tell the Sahaba to line up and watch who wins the race? Line up and watch me and my wife have some quality time to ourselves so you can say, what a couple. Like we try and do nowadays, walking in arm and saying, ji kya jodi hai ji, he Ranja, Romeo Juliet in our weddings. What did the Messenger do? He said to the Sahaba, move on, carry on, don't look back. When they carried on, they were walking, we'll catch up with you. When they had gone, then the Messenger turned to our mother Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha and said, let us race. Let's see who wins. Nobody is watching. And they have a race, husband and wife. And on that occasion, our mother wins. Many years later, they are going through the same part, on the same journey, and companions are there with them. Our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, time to score the equalizer, right? Let's get one back. Sahaba, you carry on. Don't look back. Don't stand there and say, wow, look at this, I wish we were like. No, carry on. There is no public display of affection. When they had gone, our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he raced again with our mother. And on this occasion, our mother had put on a bit of weight and she lost. Look at this in comparison to today's weddings. Go to see your father's wedding, your grandfather's wedding. Wallahi, even the man had covered his face. The men were separate, women were separate. And now we consume so much Bollywood, so much Lollywood, so much Hollywood, that we try to follow the Yahud and the Nasara. And our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said this. that we will follow them handspan by handspan, foot by foot. Even if we had to go into the hole of a lizard, we will try to do something so bizarre, something so impossible, just to be like them. So let me explain what normally happens. What normally happened during the time of our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. The nikah is what? It's a religious service that brings together two couples who are haram, they become halal. What do? 5 minutes. Maulvi Sahab nikah parao ji. Maulvi Sahab dua mango ji. Maulvi Sahab theek ho gaya ji. Acha, un music lao ji. Jane jananiya bas. This is haram. This is not from Islam. What was the use of telling the Maulvi to come? Let me explain what happens in the nikah. Our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, in every nikah he would say, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ittaqullaha haqqa tuqatih wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. Let me explain this in English. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ittaqullaha haqqa tuqatih. O you who believe, give Allah his rights. Give the rights of Allah that he deserves. Wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. Be wary of Allah, give him his rights, and do not die except in the state of Iman. Because we don't understand Arabic, we're just looking down, waiting for him to finish, and then let's eat and party. Look what the best of creation is telling on the advent of nikah. He's addressing the people. Oh, you who believe, be dutiful to Allah, fear Allah, give him his rights, and do not die except in the state of Iman. And as Muslims, what do? The music is going. Nowadays, what I've heard, I stopped attending the nikahs, by the way, like this. I don't feel there's any barakah. What do? Now they put the man and the woman in between, and there's some flowers, and as soon as the imam finishes the nikah, the man is supposed to get up, move the flowers, and kiss the woman on the forehead. What is going on? And you think this will bring love? Wallahi, this doesn't bring love. Love doesn't come from watching Bollywood films and Hollywood films. Love comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions this, that he is the one, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ, and from his signs, and خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا, that he has created from yourselves your pairs. Your pairs, Adam and Hawa. Hawa came from Adam alayhi salam, the pairs. لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا, so that you can find solace and comfort within them. Now this is the important thing. Allah then says, وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. I then place between you. I place between you. Not you watching Bollywood and MTV and all your stuff on R&B and everything. Allah is saying, وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. I will then, if you live according to Islam, I will put between you, husband and wife, rahmah, mercy, and love and compassion. Now you tell me what's going on. We don't put anything like this into our weddings. We have all disco, bhangra, everything. Then later on we say, oh, we spent £100,000 on everything. We didn't leave any stone unturned. But because we didn't follow Islam, Islam is a way of life, brothers. It's not just getting a Maulvi to say a few words and that's it, go and party. No, it's about being subservient to Allah. 5 times a day, pray your salawat and be the best that you can. You don't have to do hifz of the Qur'an. You don't have to become an alim. You just be the best that you can by following the obligatory acts. Be the best that don't deceive, don't cheat, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will create what? Rahmah between you and your households. And because of us following the way of the West, now we are seeing a breakdown in marriages. Every 10 marriages, 7 or 6 end up in divorce. You've seen this right now. You can't say, I don't believe in that statistic. Of course it's happening right in front of your very own eyes. Why? Because we have left the deen, we are not following the way of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam. 2 quick points I want to mention before I conclude. Women are always looking for Prince Charming. The men are always looking for the Miss Perfect. Wallahi, again, it doesn't happen like this. It doesn't happen like this, because when you do find Prince Charming sisters, and our brothers, when you do find the perfect woman that you think is perfect, why is it that you, after 1 year, you're divorced? Because you didn't look at it from a religious perspective. You looked at it from a dunyavi perspective. Our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, when you marry or look for a person, normally you look for 4 things. تُنْكَحُ الْمَرْأَةُ لِأَرْبَعٍ When a man marries a woman, he looks for 4 things. لِمَالِهَا, for her wealth. وَجَمَالِهَا, for her beauty. وَنَسَبِهَا, for her tribe and her lineage. وَدِينِهَا, and for her religion. فَاظْفَرْ بِذَاتِ الدِّينِ, make the deen the top choice. If she has beauty, bonus. If she has mal, bonus. But don't say, deen baad vich jara 60-70 saala nahi hosi, fir hajj asan doi ji kari kana fir. Nahi, that is not the life you're going to live. Look for a woman who's pious. And similarly, if a sister is practicing, you're looking for a brother, look for a brother who's practicing. That is success. Not he's got a business and he's got a £70,000 car and this is all dunya. And you are seeing your favorite film actors after 2 years, 3 years, they are divorced in Hollywood and Bollywood and wherever, showing you that Islam is a religion where you follow Allah and the blessings come. And the final point I want to mention, the rights of the husband and the wife, quickly. Another issue because of divorce is that sometimes the brothers are rough and tough. Even though they're practicing, even though they're practicing, they are rough and tough with their wives, and as a result of this, we have some issues in our society. Our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam told us the best indication about who is the best person in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, أَكْمُلُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ إِيمَانًا أَحْسُنُهُمْ خُلُقًا. The best person when it comes to iman is those who have the best manners. وَخِيَارُكُمْ خِيَارُكُمْ لِنِسَائِهِمْ. And the best of you, amongst you, are those who are the best to their wives. If your wives can testify, my husband is good with me. He is the father I want for my children. He is the husband that I want for my children. He has been amazing since day one, then you're in the right direction. But if your wives say, when he comes in, he's like Hitler. I want this, I want that, and you're abusing her, everything, even though you have a big beard, even though you say you pray 5 times a day on the front saf, whoever you are, our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, you're in the wrong direction here, brother. You're not in the right direction here. And final advice to our sisters. All you have to do, my sister, is be the best, obedient, faithful wife that you can. Give Allah His rights and give your husband his rights. And when you die, if your husband can testify that you have been worthy of his happiness, wallahi, you go to Jannah. Straight away. Our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, أَيُّهَا إِمْرَأَةٍ مَاتَتْ. Whoever dies from a woman, وَزَوْجُهَا أَنْهَا رَادٍ, and her husband is happy with her, دَخَلَتِ الْجَنَّةِ, she will enter Jannah. He can stand on the grave and say, everyone who's here, I am happy with my wife. She has been the best mother to my children. She has fulfilled every vow and wish that I could ask for. And I am happy with her on this day. Wallahi, she's already in Jannah. She's going fast track service. So I want to conclude by saying, brothers and sisters, this is the time of the wedding season. July, August, peak. If you truly love Allah and our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, why are we getting involved in these haram weddings where it's like almost walking into a nightclub? Music blaring, men and women next to nothing, wearing next to nothing, and then we expect there to be barakah in these kind of gatherings, and it's getting worse. Agar sari mawjoodgi vich is sari behayai ho rahi hai, the mustaqbal future vich kya hosi? We have to make sure that we hold on to the kitab and the sunnah, especially when it comes to marriages, because wallahi, next generation will get worse, and the following generation will get worse, and we'll be asked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what did we do when we started seeing the signs that people are going on the wrong direction? Did we say, chalo kya karan ji, bradri hai na, chalo kya karan, Allah ki chalo baad vich toba toba naudzubillah karsan, lekin buddhi ki khush karna pena na, ya buddhi aksi jane ki khush karna pena na. Lo kya aksan, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Is that how weak our iman is? Nobody is killing you. Nobody kusa talwar nahi latkai hui ve tusa ki ithe bas zaba karsan, tusa ne chalo theek hai. O bas 2-4 gallan hi hosan. O yara inna music ko nahi bulaya, inna DJ nahi bulaya, inna camera le bande ki nahi bulaya, jiske asal sare jara bande khalne stage par da jane janani mahram ghair mahram. What is this? Subhanallah. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to understand and benefit. There will be a conference taking place over the weekend. Sunday, I believe, taking place on Sunday. Please make sure you attend. It's a very important annual conference. We have speakers coming from across America and different parts of the West. You have posters on the way out. You can get the timings, but it's important that you spend the day in the masjid. You benefit, you try and learn, and more importantly, you try and implement whatever you learn. It's important. Spread the message, share the khair. Make sure you attend the conference on Sunday. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallama tasliman kathiran kathira. Allahumma a'izz al-Islam wal muslimin. Allahumma ansur ikhwanana في سبيلك في كل مكان. اللهم انصر إخواننا في سوريا، في فلسطين، في باكستان، في كشمير، في أفغانستان، في كل مكان. اللهم انصر دينك وكتابك وسنة نبيك وعبادك الموحدين. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. أقيموا الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
Staqimu, tarasu, taqarabu. Please make sure you're standing shoulder to shoulder with the person next to you. Ensure there are no gaps. Straight in the rows. Mil jaye. Allahu Akbar. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي يخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى. الله سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر.
الله أكبر.
الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. والعاديات ضبحا فالموريات قدحا فالمغيرات سبحا فأثرن به نقعا فوسطن به جمعا إن الإنسان لربه لكنود وإنه على ذلك لشهيد وإنه لحب الخير لشديد